everybody, it's Julie Hollinger from the MFRC. Welcome to our fireside chat. This is our first since back to school. So for those of you who have the house to yourself for the first time in who knows how long, good for you. I hope you're enjoying it. Thank you for taking the time to join us. We do appreciate that. So today's fireside chat, we're going to talk about CDSP, the Children's Deployment Support Program. So I think it's a good mesh to back to school, because this is a program that people remember from happening in the school. So we want to come to you in the first week, talk about the program, let you know what's happening for those people who are dealing with the deployment right now. And while we're here, we're also going to talk about some of the other deployment support services. So if you have a loved one who is away, if they're preparing to go away, if they are coming back soon and you're concerned about their reintegration, this is the fireside chat for you to watch. Throughout the talk, we're going to be giving out email addresses. We're going to be talking about upcoming programs and mentioning that you can register online. In all of these cases, what we're going to do is we're going to put the link in that comment section. So feel free to keep watching the video. If you didn't catch it, don't worry about rewinding. Later on, you can come back and just scroll through that comment section. You're going to see all of those links that you're looking for in one place. Typically, we also have Claudia Beswick, our executive director, joining us. She cannot make it today, but we did want to mention that she is always open to feedback. She's always open to ideas and programs and suggestions. So we are going to share in the comments an online feedback form that we have on CAF Connection. At the PMFRC, when we tell people that we really like feedback, we really do like feedback. So if you have ideas, let us know. Our goal is to present programs and services that are relevant for the families in our area. And the only way we're going to know what's relevant to you, what you need, what your barriers are right now is if you tell us. So if you are not comfortable filling out that form, but one of the nice people online that you are here talking to seems like a kind of person you'd want to share your suggestions with, you can also reach out to any of the folks on the PMFRC staff and give them your ideas and suggestions, and we'll make sure that it gets to the proper place. So just going along the line, I don't know if my boxes are arranged the way they are on your screen, but Annie Beaudoin is joining us. She is the deployment coordinator at the PMFRC. Darby Briggs is the community engagement programmer. Francesca Alexanian is the deployment support programmer. And Lindy is the community integration programmer. So she is down there in the corner. Before we start, I know from experience and from talking to families over the years that when we say the word deployment, everybody thinks of something different. Some people think it only means if your loved one is overseas. Some people think it only means if they're gone for more than 6.5 weeks or whatever. So before we start off, let's just go over some definitions. We're going to ask Annie, what is a deployment? What do we consider deployment? And when we talk about families of people who are deployed or loved ones, who's involved in that definition? Who is eligible to get that kind of support?
Thanks, Julie. So basically, for us, the deployment for the PMFRC, I know it's different in different MFRCs, but basically, if you're 24 hours not sleeping, if the member is not sleeping in its bed, you're considered deployed. So you can have access to every services and programs that the deployment team is offering to you and the agency as well. So basically, as well, it's when I mean 24 hours not sleeping in your bed is not just overseas, or it's courses, it's IR, it's any type of training you do, even if you're in Petawawa training or you're anywhere in Canada training, it all counts. I mentioned IR because it's important when the families is separated, because the member is on another base. We are still offering support for the family that stays behind, and you kind of fall down in the deployment department for the type of service, since you are separated from your member. And when we say we are supporting the families, what we mean is whatever family means to you or the member. So if the member's family includes sisters, mothers, well, only one mom, but family, and anything, could be a family friend if that's what you want. If you have someone that stays with you and checking for your apartment or your house and you want that person to be included, definitely included. So family is what family means to you, and that's what we're going to support. You're going to tell us by filling up a family information form with the contact information to give us permission, because we need permission to be sharing information. That's the definite. But whatever family means to you, that's what family means to us.
We call it deployment, I think, because it's a term that we've all grown used to over the years. But some people also define it as a work-related separation. I think that's a little bit of a better term. It just doesn't roll off the tongue as easily as deployment. And what I always tell people is if you're not sure if you're eligible, or if you're not sure if your spouse is deployed, call us. Call Annie, call a front desk, call Francesca, ask the question, and we can sort of talk it out with you. And maybe, you know, there are other things that we can offer you, but don't sit there and wonder if you're eligible and then not get the support you need. At least call and ask the question. We're more than happy to sort of go through that with you. Lindy, a lot of people recognize Lindy because Lindy has been doing the Children's Deployment Support Program for a long time. I know at the grocery store, my kids recognize Lindy when they see her. You've been doing this for a long time, so I guess you're the best person to ask. Can you talk to us a little bit about what CDSP is? And from your experience, how do kids benefit from the program?
Absolutely. So the program was piloted back in 2005 in the local schools. It is kind of a two-tier program. So we offer the opportunity for peer support for the children. So they have a chance to connect with others, feel that they're not alone, as well as have a facilitator kind of guide the discussion, keep it healthy. They have an opportunity to share their feelings, their fears, and help each other with how to cope with those. Kind of saying things they may not say in front of mom or dad, that sort of thing. And then the other component is coping skills. So we teach a huge variety of mindfulness techniques. There's deep breathing, visualization, but it's all done in a really fun play-based format. So the kids are learning without realizing that they're learning, and the skills are transferable to just about any aspect of their life. So some kids report that it helps with bedtime, or it helps with, you know, nerves before a big hockey game or a dance competition. So some of the activities that are familiar to the kids are the flat knee. We make a flat knee. Some kids make a flat parent to keep home, and it's a neat way to communicate. And it's something that we bring up and we talk about throughout the school year. The pillowcase is another one, or the teddy bear. The kids make this highlights pillowcase and they decorate a teddy bear. Different coping skills attached to that, which the children learn, but having a take home something is a good way to remind them to use these skills that they've learned.
And I think just for the kids, just to know that they're not the only ones. I think sometimes we feel, even as adults, when our partner or our loved ones are going through a deployment, you can feel so alone and isolated and wonder, am I the only one who's not doing well with this? And sometimes it's nice just to know that there are other people who feel the same way that you do and maybe thinking the same things, and makes you feel a little bit less lonely and maybe gives you a little bit more confidence that, you know what, I got this. Darby, so we talked about back to school, and for those of you who had kids that are back to school and listened to them yesterday, you know that back to school does not look like any back to school that we have seen before. And because of that, CDSP has had to change, because we still want to provide support for the kids, but that idea of being in the schools this year, it just isn't practical. Can you talk about how CDSP is going to change this year?
Yeah, Julie, well, we know that parents have been dealing with a lot of changes and a lot of last minute updates as school starts back. We know this is going to be a super stressful year for families, and adding a deployment or a work-related separation, it doesn't make it any easier. So making sure we're able to still offer the CDSP program in this new normal was really important to our team. Yet with all the new safety protocols and guidelines in place, both in the schools and for our own staff, we knew we wouldn't be able to safely return to offering the program in the classrooms. Keeping everyone safe and healthy was definitely at the forefront of making the decision to come out of the school setting and offer the CDSP program 100% virtual. And you know what? We're actually really excited about the program we're able to provide to families this year. When the schools closed back in March, to give you a little background, we're no longer able to provide the CDSP program in person. Yet students slowly returned to school virtually later on in the coming months, and we wanted to ensure that we were there as well. So we started the CDSP virtual support boosters. We've had great success with them over the summer, and we've expanded on them to build our new program for the school year. So what the program looks like is it consists of 3 semesters. Families can sign up for 1, 2, or all 3 semesters. They're all going to be a little bit different, but you don't have to do one to have done the other. You're still going to learn a lot. Depending on the length of the deployment or work-related separation that they're experiencing, they can sign up for what they need. Each semester, families will receive access to pre-recorded videos that parents and children can work through on their own time. You'll get one live check-in session per month where your children can ask questions, express their feelings. They're going to get parent support newsletters and a CDSP learning box filled with supplies that children will need to work through these sessions. Although it's a big change for families, the virtual format ensures that they will continue to receive the tools and support resources that they need, both for the parents and for the children. It's going to be online with flexible programming that fits their family schedule. No more missed sessions due to snow days or sick days, canceled buses or sports tournaments. That's not going to get in the way. You're going to get 100% of the program. It's also a way to ensure that everyone has access to our support program during those deployments. If families have chosen online learning, if they've chosen in-person or homeschooling, we'll be there for them. The virtual format allows everyone to participate so no one misses out. Also new this year, which is a really fun activity and shows the creativity of this team thinking with Lindy and Francesca, is Draco the Dragon, our buddy. Children can write letters to Draco the Dragon. He's our support mascot, talking about their expressions, their experiences and feelings. Draco will read the letters anonymously during these live Zoom sessions, and children can participate in some brainstorming sessions, discuss coping, problem solving, and how to support each other. It's a way to still incorporate that peer aspect that Lindy was talking about. We'll also be introducing a new component this year with our special needs and inclusion programmer, Amy. Amy's going to be able to provide families with children who have special needs a way to adapt these CDSP sessions so that they're still learning the tools and resources. We're still working out some of the details, but overall, we want families to know that we're still here and able to support them through their deployment and whatever this back to school looks like for them.
So if a family wants to sign up for it, then they sometimes with programs, it's always going to be on Wednesday evenings, but that's the day that we have dance or hockey or whatever it is, and they can't sign up, they can't benefit. So they can watch those videos whenever it's convenient for them.
Yep, and they can pause the videos if they get distracted or they want to have a conversation about it. We know little ones tend to get a little distracted around the computer, so we don't want them to miss out on anything. So they're going to have the option to do this when it suits them. If the weather's nice on that Wednesday night and they want to go outside and play in the snow, if it's in the winter, they can do that. Then they can do it on a different day.
I don't play in the snow, but I will take your word for it that would be a fun activity for an evening. Lindy, if you if a family has a bunch of kids, like 3 or 4 kids, or that are different ages, and they want to get them all in the same CDSP group, is that possible?
With the virtual format, I think a lot of things are possible that maybe weren't before in the school setting. So we have developed the program so children will receive the videos that are age appropriate to them. The topics will be the same, but the way it is taught may be a little different. The tools, the learning tools might be a little bit different to reach the different age groups. So if you have children, say, not quite school age, 3 years old, 6 years old, 10 and 12, they will all have the opportunity to learn the same things, the same language. So if you're sitting around at the dinner table and say they're talking about Jelly Belly, which is just a teaser of one of the aspects of our program, all the children will know what we're talking about. It just may be portrayed a little bit differently. So if you keep your eyes out too, our 1 to 6 programmer will be also sharing some deployment type activities for children in the young preschool age group. When it comes to the live session, kind of the bonus to this is children, it doesn't matter what school they're in, what area they live in, they can all join in the live Zooms, and they will be divided into age appropriate. What a 13-year-old may want to talk about is probably vastly different from what a 4-year-old would like to discuss. So they will all have the opportunity, but they can also reach out and meet kids from other schools, other areas, and share their ideas and their thoughts and their experiences with a great range of kids this year.
It seems so odd to me that 6 or 7 months ago, the idea of doing these programs online and reaching out, being able to talk to people, and sort of, it just seems it's like different world, and how strange that in a matter of 6 months, this has just become a way of life. for us, and especially for our kids who last year really got used to this online format. So even if they're back at school, this is something that they're kind of familiar with in a way that that they may not have been, or we may not have been a year ago. Francesca, you are the deployment support programmer. So you do work with CDSP, but you also do a lot of other things for families who are experiencing a deployment. If a family is going through a deployment coming soon, can you talk about some of the programs that are going to be available coming up in the next couple of weeks they may want to keep their eye open for?
Absolutely. So the next couple of months, we have a lot of programs for adults as well as for the children now. One I want to draw everybody's attention to while we're talking about CDSP is Parenting Through Deployment. So that's one we have coming up, where we'll be helping give parents the tools they need to help support their children through a deployment. And for adults, we have Dare to Leap, which is a program where you get to come kind of learn something new, try something new. And our themes for that coming up will be healthy eating and vision boards. And for anybody who would like to, we have an emergency preparedness program. And our themes for that will be a vehicle safety and home safety in the coming few weeks. We also have Making Connections, which runs on the first Tuesday of every month. And in that one, you can just pop into our Zoom chat with us and you can talk about whatever's going on with you. And if you want to make connections with other families who are also joining, it's a time to do that. I'd like to also mention, sorry, that Dare to Leap, those programs will be pre-recorded. So you sign up and then you can watch them when you have time to do them. So you're not kind of constrained to what we're doing. If you have kids, you can watch it after bedtime. And the last one is deployment readiness we have coming up. And for that, you can make a deployment wall with us to, again, help your kids through the deployment a little. It's a fun way to keep connected in the family.
So in addition to those programs, if someone just wants to reach out and talk to you about so parenting and deployment, if they want to reach out to you and sort of see if there's other resources that they might be able to access, can they do that as well and just take advantage of your expertise as a deployment support programmer?
Absolutely. Anytime they can reach out to me. The best way to contact me is through my email, because we are still working from home. And so that's deployment.pmfrc@belnet.ca. But if you'd like to speak to me over the phone, you can call and leave me a voicemail. And I'm now checking that periodically. So it's 613-687-7587, extension 3257. And as soon as I get the message, I'll return your call there as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Francesca. Annie, since this whole thing has started and we closed our doors at the PMFRC, we are open at the north side again now. A lot of people were wondering about morale mail. And with people leaving, people are starting to think about, you know, sending those care packages and getting together and putting those packages together. We've had to change the way morale mail happens for obvious reasons. Can you talk about what's happening with morale mail and what people should keep in mind if they want to send a package?
Absolutely. So morale mail is kind of a service that is offered by the base, and then the PMFRC is an actual drop-off center. So we had to follow their guidelines. Obviously, it's not us necessarily. There's a lot of guidelines, the base guidelines, the base surgeon's guidelines. So when we were in connection with them and letting them know how important it was for the families, because we got a lot of requests asking what's going on with that. They came up with a system for us, but we were really happy with that because it's actually giving us the chance to reopen the drop-off center for morale mail. So basically the process is that you have to have your parcel already wrapped up, addressed, all of those things, all the information on the sizing and what needs to go where. It's all on our CAF connection, so it will be in the comment section. So basically that's what you do. You go to our Northside location on Regal Beaudoin between 8 and 4, any day of the week. When you get there, you'll have to come inside, do the small little health screening that you have to do. Make sure you have your mask. And then when that is done, it takes maybe like a minute and a half. When that is done, you can go close to the reception desk, and we have a big cart there. So you can drop off your parcel there. The staff at the MFRC will not touch it at all. So basically once a week, the base mailroom will come and pick it up. It will probably have a little timeout for quarantine before being shipped to Belleville. And then after that, it's the same process as usually. When there's room on the plane, the parcels will be sent over. So it takes a little bit longer, which on something that we don't even know how long it takes usually, because it's never the same. It always depends if there's room on the planes, how many planes and things like that are going overseas. But yeah, just keep in mind that if want something sent for Christmas, just give you a little bit more leeway time, you know, maybe a week or so before what you would normally do, because of all those little steps that they have to be quarantined at the MFRC, then quarantine probably at the mail room, and then at Belleville too. Like that's the process. However, we're excited because we actually can take those parcels. So it's still free, and all of the information, if you have to download a custom sheet, you can find that on our CAF Connection website. Everything is there. Since we can't offer you wrapping stations and things like that, what we've decided to do is that every Wednesday at the north side is our pickup day. So if there's anything that needs to be picked up for programs or things like that, or the dolls, which I'll talk to you a little bit later about, you can come between 10 and 3 at the north side. So I have a big bin there with brown paper that I roll up, and they're all cut up for you, and then custom forms and things like that. So if you're looking for that, you can just pick it up on Wednesdays, and then you'll have all the supplies you need to get ready to send your parcels.
And morale meal is so people think it's something that the member benefits from, but I know how talking to families, they have so much fun coming up with ideas of things that they can put in the box and adding those pictures and adding those drawings. And I think just the idea of putting the package together for the families is exciting. So I'm glad that we can do that. For those of you who haven't been to the north side in a while, there's actually 2 doors. So when you get there, you're going to see there's these big flags that are up, so you'll know which door is the indoor and then which door is the outdoor. And like Annie said, masks are required when you're in the building.
I just want to add something, Julie, that I forgot. So I know right now it's between 8 and 4, and we're looking into extending the hours, but right now we have to absolutely follow the base guidelines and the base surgeon guidelines. However, we're working right now with CanX to be able to have a little place where you can pick up some brown paper and custom forms. So we're working on that right now. So if Wednesday is not a good day and you would like to get that supply to wrap your parcels and stuff, keep an eye out. We're going to bring something at the CanX where we're going to be able to pick it up over there. So it's not quite ready yet, but we're working on it.
You said that you had something else that you wanted to share about the dolls. Do you want to talk about that now?
Yay. We love these, and we know how much the kids love these as well. So we have a limited quantity of soldiers dolls, or deployment dolls that we call them. And basically, you need to, there's a little process to get your hands on these. So you have to fill out the request form. Again, in the comments, we're going to add the in CAF Connection, the link to find everything, all the questions you have regarding the dolls, all the rules that we have to follow to make sure that you can get a doll. But this is what they look like. We made sure that they were Canadian-y, if that's a word, for your kids. So if your children didn't get a doll in previous years and you would like to have one, please do so, and then they will be able to be picked up on a Wednesday pickup at the north side, like I just talked about. And yeah, so this is what they look like. They are very well loved. If your children already had one and they lost it or they broke it or anything, just reach out to us, and we'll make sure that your little ones won't go without. The main rule is that the member has to be deployed. So if they are sure to go, but they're not quite gone yet, just wait a little bit, because we'll process the forms when they're actually in theater. So this is the main role, but that's our little guy. I need to find a name for this little one, maybe. If you have suggestions, put them in the comment section down there. But
If
yeah,
you haven't seen the doll before, you're going to notice that his face is a little bit shiny. There's a pocket in the face. So you can slide a picture of your loved one in there. So you can put a picture of your loved one's face in there, and that doll can sort of have that same face. So that's why it's a little bit shiny, but so you can personalize them once you get those home. While we've got you, Annie, you also want to talk about the binder that's available. So when we do the pickups, there are other things that are available for pickup on those days. So if you are reaching out for deployment, there are other resources that we can still get to you.
Absolutely. So Francesca was talking a little bit earlier about our programs that we're going to give you some supplies to do a deployment walls or anything like that, even for the community engagement team when they offer programs in the box or things like that. All of this is on Wednesday pickup where you can find and grab your supplies. So this is something else that we have. We do have it electronically in English and in French. But if you are like me and you much prefer the paper copy, we do have them on Wednesdays as well. So the only what you need to do is if you want to have a paper copy, just reach out to me or Francesca, and we'll make sure that we have it on the next Wednesday pickup for you. So this is the old version. We have a new version now with the new posters and information. The new version has the pets and deployment section. That's something that we added to the binder when we did our review this year. But it's such a great tool to have. There's different tabs here with different sections. There's a health one, a legal one, and basically is tons of checklists and reminders like, did you forget about this? Did you think about that? Did you know information? We have how to stay connected with your family. There's a lot of information. And the good thing is it's all in one spot. And inside, even our tabs, they have like little pockets. So if you have anything that you want to add that is a little bit everywhere in your house and you want to keep everything on track, like where do you shut off the water and things like that, there's so many great information. So when you get one, don't get overwhelmed. Do it, like fill it out section by section, and only do the one that are pertinent to your family. So skip some if you don't need that, or you can take it. That's why we did it on a binder format. You can take out or add on anything that works for your family. So that's a great tool. But if you like the online version, we do have that as well.
Darby, we were talking about CDSP. We talked about the program, the fact that it's available, and so this schedule typically ran October to May. So we've got a little bit of time before we start. Do you want to talk about how someone would sign up for it?
Definitely. So registration is going to be online. It always has been. And it's going to actually open up starting next week. And it's going to remain open throughout the year so that families can register for each semester. They can find all the information on the program, including the link to register on our CAF Connection site, which is going to be listed below. And as far as reaching out to anybody, if they have any questions, like you said, we always encourage feedback and communication with our clients and our families. Lindy and Francesca are definitely the ones who are providing the program, and they're doing all the hard work and coming up with all the great ideas. But families can have access to any four of us here anytime they have questions or they need more information. They can also check out the website. There's going to be a frequently asked questions page up shortly. They can still register for our September support CDSP booster. And they can also read previous issues of the support newsletter on the website. So if they have questions in the meantime, check out the website, reach out to any of us.
So when you look in the comments, there's a CDSP program link. So there's a back issues of the newsletter. So if you want to see what it is before you sign up, you can sort of take a look and see what's gone out in the past. And it sort of is an outline of CDSP, and they'll have the registration. I'm going up shortly for that. We are also sharing the links below. If you want to do the booster CDSP session in September, if you don't want to wait till October, if your child wants to sign up, there's one program for children ages 4 to 9 and one program for children 10 and up. So you can sign up for those below as well. Francesca, if someone wants to get hold of deployment, how do they do that?
Best way is to email me. That's the way you'll get the fastest response, deployment support.pmfrc@belknap.ca. And as I mentioned, you can also call me, and I'm checking my voicemails periodically, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And that's 613-687-7587, extension 3257.
And the Northside office, PMFRC Northside office is open. So if you are looking for any of the folks that are here, the telephone number there is 613-687-1641, and we will make sure that it gets to the appropriate person. Does anybody else have anything else they want to share before we end? Anything else that we've missed that we want to sort of go through?
I do actually, Julie. One piece I just realized that we forgot was that we will, for any families who need Francophone support, if they go into the French schools, we were still going to be offering the program in French. Our SLT, our second language programmer position, is vacant at the moment. It's going to be filled shortly, but there will be support for those families, so they don't need to worry about that.
That's an excellent point. Thank you, Darby. Thank you all for joining us. If any questions come up in your mind, if you're not watching this live, if you're watching this afterwards and a question comes up, or if you think of something later on, you can go ahead and still add those questions to the comments. We will see it and we will get back to you. If it's a question that you don't want to ask in the comments forum, please feel free. You can also send a message to our Facebook page. That is an option as well. So if you send a message to the Facebook page, we will make sure it gets to the appropriate person. Thank you all so much for joining us. We will see you next week with another fireside chat. Bye, everyone.